Alright, what's up, people? So, I ain't even trying to do a live right now until I get the other phone going. The SIM card is at the crib, so at Monty's house, Grumpy Smurfs. I had to pick that up when I get back to Lubbock. This load was jacked all the way around. So, I got to Tyson and Amarillo to pick the load up. My company's going to be there at 7 in the morning. I got there at 2 in the morning. One, I dropped my trailer, plus I had to wash the reefer out. And normally, to be honest, the loads are ready a couple hours early. Usually even sometimes a whole half a day early or a day early. I guess they were running behind because when I got there was a crap load of bobtails in the bobtail section. And so she's like, yeah, it's not ready yet. And so drop your trailer, go wash it, drop it, whatever. So I did all that, and then I dropped trailer, and I came in and got the bunk, and I slept for like only a couple of hours. Because again, my load was there. So every couple of hours I called to see if the load was ready. By the time we hit 7 o'clock and it wasn't ready, I then sent a message to the owner and the other guy. I said, look, this load is not ready. This is what they're telling me. Boop-de-boop-de-boop. So I guess he started monitoring it, and then he hit me up between, I think it was 8:30 and 9. I remember 9:02. So he says, your load is ready. I'm like, okay. Well, by that time, it's an hour and a half to 2 hours late because I'm there at 7, And I'm going through hours, driving there, and then the time just wasted waiting. So by the time I hook to the load, get the paperwork, get back into the gate, because you got to wait behind all the other trucks. So by the time I hook to the load, get back into the gate, by the time I do all that craziness, the load is, at that point, it's, look at this guy, I thought he was walking up to me. By the time I do all that craziness, my time is down to I think I'm under 2 hours. So by the time I then get it scaled, pre-trip the trailer, do all that, I think I had an hour and change left to where, well, let me put it like this. I had an hour and change left that I could drive and an hour and change left to where I was just away from an 8-2 split. So I went ahead and did the 8-2 split, which gave me 8 hours to drive, something like that. Gave me 8 hours to drive. I drove from Texas. I stopped only really to pee, all the way to, where did I go? I went from Texas. I stopped only to pee at a couple rest areas, and I drove all the way to, I think it was Joseph City, Arizona. No. It was before Joseph City. I got right to the border of New Mexico, Arizona, and there was a truck. I never parked at that truck stop. I parked there. So at this point, I wait through my 10-hour sleeper berth, get up, haul butt, and get all the way to Lake Havasu City. I fuel the truck. I made a stop in Joseph City, get ice, go to the bathroom, head back out. Did I get a sandwich? I don't think I got a sandwich. I might have got a sandwich. I can't remember. Anyway, head out. I get all the way to Lake Havasu City, where I always fuel before coming into Cali, because that's the last stop. And they like you to fuel not in California, but in there, in any state outside of California, because it's so expensive. So I stop, I fuel. At this point, after I get done fueling, I go to the bathroom, I get my ice, and all of that was about an hour, because that fuel stop is often busy. So I had 2 trucks in front of me that weren't moving for 20 minutes, and the fuel, I had to call in and say, hey, him to move. Then when I got up there, I fueled, got my fuel done, and then I went to the bathroom, got something to drink, grabbed something to eat. So all that was about an hour. And then I hauled butt, and I got to to Tehachapi. There's a Love's there. I didn't even know that Love's was there until he told me it was there. So I stayed there. So then that put me still, by the time I got out of sleeper berth, got rolling, I was 5 hours still outside of my first delivery. So I get to the first delivery. Here's the drama. Get to the first delivery, which was supposed to be at 10 a.m. I get there about 11:30-ish. Go check in with the guy, and he says it's supposed to be 10 o'clock delivery. And I said, yep. I said, I'm here. I'm running late. I said, the load was loaded late. He says, you're not late. You're on time. He said, actually, you're a day early. I said, a day early? paperwork say 4:15. Today 4:15. It's 11:30. The load was supposed to be here 10. He go, you a day early. I'm like, I said, ain't no way hell I'm a day early. Today's the 15th, right? He's like, yeah, your load ain't scheduled to be unloaded till the 16th. The 16th. So I showed him the paperwork. I said, here. He said, per Tyson, what we have in our system, it's supposed to be unloaded 16th to 10 a.m. I said, well, maybe they rescheduled because it was running late. And I'm thinking my company rescheduled and they just didn't tell me. He goes, no, ma'am, this the original. That's the original date. So somehow, I don't know if it's Tyson, I don't know if the company I delivered to, which is Rallies, I don't know who screwed up, but somehow they had it for the 16th. He said, well, I'm going to try to fit you in today since you're here early. I'm like, that would be very helpful. They didn't fit me in, couldn't get me in because they had a bunch of trucks waiting and then they had more trucks coming in. So I had to wait overnight there, order me some Indian food to the truck, went to sleep. Got up the next morning, I'm still waiting, checked back in, let these guys know what's going on. Finally, Raleigh's got me back at 9 something in the morning on the 16th. Well, that made me late to my next appointment because my appointment's late a whole day to Restaurant Depot. I'm late a whole damn day at this point. So, I get to Restaurant Depot. I called the second one, or the third one. I called them and checked in because I thought I would be done a lot sooner, but I waited over 6 hours for the Restaurant Depot and SAC to get me fitted into the schedule since I wasn't there on time due to the whole fiasco. I had to get new socks. My socks are starting old, and the old one's starting to roll down from my compression socks that I get. Y'all, if y'all drivers get compression socks. I met a skinnier driver. He's like, you wearing compression socks? I said, I think every driver. He said, yep. And he's pointing to his legs. He had his on, too. You drive, you need to have compression socks because sitting, you can get clots. And it doesn't matter if you don't have a clot issue or not. After a while, sitting, you can get clots. Anyway, there was a news story a long time ago about a man, one of the news reporters who went over to the war in, it wasn't Afghanistan, it was back during the Reagan-Bush time. Remember. But anyway, he went over there to report on the war and died because of a blood clot from sitting in the tanks. Anyway, so get compression socks. What happened next? I think what happened next. And Junior Honduras had a driver, Rodney, who also got blood clots and died. Get compression socks, people. Compression socks. So I got there, got to the second one. They didn't get me back 6 hours last night. And it was funny because I talked to Nikki, and I told her my next stop was Oakland. And she said, you be careful in Oakland because there was some issue with some driver out here. They robbed him, the truck. I don't know all the details. I have to really watch. I just kind of did a quick update of it. But I need to watch the video and see what they did. So it was some shenanigans. Anyway, Nikki had warned me about this driver who had gotten, it was some drama. And something happened with this driver, so I was like, okay. Then Trucker Bill said to me, because he called me, where you at? And I told him I was still in the SAC, waiting to get unloaded. And they finally got me unloaded. And he had called me at the end, and he said, are you going to make it to the other stop in time? I said, well, I got time. I said, but they stop unloading at 11-ish. And he said, you going to be there right? And he said, they ain't going to get you unloaded tonight. I said, yes, I think I can stay on the yard. He like, So Trucker Bill, and then this Indian dude that I met, it's kind of like 3 times God is talking to you. So Trucker Bill, he's from Oakland, and he said the only way I stay in East Oakland if I'm packing. I said, all right, bro. He said, I'm packing heat. That's the only way the hell I stay anywhere in East Oakland. He said, go take your ass over to the 49er and park that damn truck, pay for parking. He said, they reimburse you? I said, yeah. He said, pay for parking. He said, and then you head out in the morning. And so that's what I did. I pretty much stayed. And then it was funny because there was an Indian guy there who was pissed because they weren't getting him in the dock. And he told me, I don't think that you can park overnight at that Restaurant Depot. I'm like, oh, okay. I said, I thought I could. He said, No, I don't think they let you stay overnight at the restaurant depot. I'm like, okay. So, um, he was really funny, but he said, I don't think you can. He said, you might be able to make it, but it's like an hour or two away. I like, yeah, I know, it's like an hour and a half to 2 hours. He said, yes, it's going to be a little tight. I think they unload up until about 10 o'clock. And so by the time I got done, it was like close to 9. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to take my butt on over here to, and then so this morning the owner, he's micromanaging. I like him, he's a nice guy, but he is micromanaging. When do you think you're going to make the next stop? Bro, I'm going to be there. I said, look, by the time they got done with me unloading me, and I sent it to both of them, the time they got done unloading me, there was no way in hell I was going to make it in time for them to unload last night. I said, so I went ahead and gave the 49er, paid for parking, because it's not safe to park overnight in East Oakland. It is not. So I went where it was safe to park. Yes, I did. And he didn't say nothing else. Zero. Zero. No. I like breathing until the Lord says it's time for me to go home, and I don't want to go home by somebody killing me. I want to go home naturally. So if he can take me in my sleep, I don't want to feel nothing. I'm just saying. Guys, my back is itching. I need to get another back stretcher. I'm using my cane. If you don't have a cane, get a cane. I'll tell you the wonderful uses of a cane. One, I sometimes walk with it because my leg is stiff from when it broke. I fractured that ankle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. The other use for it, when you are at the scales, you gotta open the door and lean all out and try to press up. Just take this and hit it, and that's what I do. And the other use for it, you crack somebody in the head. You have to, you gotta do what you gotta do. My grandma called it her Negro stick or her ninja stick. I won't go any further. Y'all should be able to figure that out. She had a walking stick, and that was her ninja stick. Because she didn't drive. She walked to where she went to when she caught the bus. Anywho, that's that. I'm trying to think what else I want to talk about this. Oh, so I've been getting a lot of people asking me about the two ladies who died, Carmisha and Ashley. And I guess some people are joining the channel. Thank you for joining. For those of you who are new to the channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. And please share, like, and subscribe. We're trying to get the membership up to 1,000 so I can use the lives, because I really like interacting on the lives, because people ask questions and we chit-chat and chin-wag and shoot the shiz. And then hopefully the new phone, I might be able to use a third-party software and use it in order to do lives, because this ghetto mobile service is not the best. And when it reads on there, it says it's not getting all the updates it's supposed to get. And I probably got a crap load of updates I got to do for this phone. This phone been off for a year or so. Anyway, here's the deal. Carmisha, we never heard anything. Carmisha's the one who was killed in her truck in Louisiana also. We never heard anything further about Carmisha other than her parents buried her. KLLM did a wonderful, they did, a lot of their drivers came in their trucks and did a driving processional to her funeral. I think you can see that on, what's her name, Miss Diva Truck or whatever. You can see it on her channel, the lady who wears the pink. Because she was part of the processional with a couple other drivers to kind of just really give, the baby was young, that baby. It's heartbreaking. We never heard anything further about her murder, nothing. We didn't hear anything further. The other one that I'm going to mention is Carmisha and Ashley. So Carmisha was KLLM. She was the one that's murdered. Ashley was murdered too, but it had nothing to do with trucking. Hers was a domestic situation. And I don't know if that was her boyfriend. I don't know who was what to who. But Ashley was murdered. At least he admitted to murdering her and told family members that he had killed her somewhere between Texas and Louisiana. They did not find her body, and when they went to question him, he had killed himself. And I did something on this, and I'm going to say this to ladies. I understand. Look at people like my father. My father's horrid. But I do understand oftentimes, um, okay, I don't know what Prime is doing. Prime did a U-turn. I guess he done come the wrong way. I have no idea what the hell Prime is doing. Maybe he done went to the wrong location. Shit, I don't know. I was like, Prime is, he did a big U-turn here, and I don't know, maybe he realized he turned down the wrong. Because you can't, if you go past, you can't go past this bridge. There's a bridge up here. It's totally restricted. This is it. This little road right here is it for trucks. You can't go no further than this road right here. But Ashley was in a domestic situation. So I mentioned this before. Ladies, I understand, especially for my heterosexual ladies, um, and well, anybody. You could be in a domestic situation with anybody. But when you're dealing with somebody who is, and normally my attitude is, because my mother, my stepfather used to beat my mom's, jumped on her, and sometimes she'd do stuff just to piss him off. They were weird. That whole thing's weird. But when you're with somebody who you know, especially a man who will lay his hands on you, you need to run, not walk. My real father told me, and he thought it was funny, that him and my brother, the one who's in prison, Norris's mother, they got in fights, physical fights. And I beat her ass. And, I told her, yeah, I whooped your ass. And laughed. When you in a relationship with that, first of all, that's not a man. That's a grown male. And you in some relationship with somebody like that, you need to run, not walk. That is not an individual you want to be involved in. So it's not somebody you want to be involved in. And don't get me wrong, I understand that some people, maybe they have to grow up, but you got people like my father doesn't grow up. He's been who he is all his life. He's a grown little boy. When you have that kind of situation, run, don't walk, because you can be putting your life in a detriment. And that matter of fact, there was in Arizona, where I'm from, in Tempe, which is my city. There was a man who was, I guess he was married. Gatorade. He was married to this young girl. They had children together. Abuses had happened for quite some time in the relationship. She's trying to get away from him at a point. The abuses weren't new. They had been going on for a while. They had children together. Let me tell you how that ended up. He decided, because he didn't want her to leave him, he drove her and his children into the Tempe Town Lake and killed all of them. Babies, and the chick, and himself. I'm going to say this to you. Ladies, make some wise decision on who you laying down with. Granted, Lord probably wanted to get me and my family, me and my siblings here for whatever his purposes are. But ain't no way in hell anybody should lay down with my biological father. No way in hell. He didn't take care of his kid, doesn't raise kids, has no ownership for any of his stuff. Even his children today. When I told him some things that happened to me as a kid, would you tell your mother's father? Because he would have killed so-and-so. It's not my mother's father's responsibility. He didn't lay down with my mom and have me. You did. You're supposed to be the man that was supposed to be there to protect. But I understand you're a grown little boy. No ownership, even with the child he has who's autistic. You have a kid who has special needs, you should care enough to say, you know what, I'm coming to some money, let me go ahead and send this woman something, let me see, and let me just check in on this. I don't care, because he has no ownership of anything, except for what he wants to satisfy his fleshly desires. He's a piece of work. When you have people like that, you have people who think it's funny to beat a female. You have people who are just abusive. You need to run and not walk from a relationship, because you don't know, especially in today's world, folks are crazy as hell. There is some shiz that happening today that is mind-blowing. They just look. I only came in on part of it. Some kid who idolized what took place in Columbine. They done found the girl dead. She done bought a gun. She done took a pilgrimage to go out there to. No, y'all. So when you mess with these people, and if something ain't right, keep moving. And I've been in unright relationships in my earlier days And it takes sometimes you to bump your head a couple times, and God says, "Get the hell out of this craziness." And it doesn't have to be where it's physical violence. It just be you in a relationship that's massively dysfunctional. Run, don't walk. Run, don't walk. So, that's kind of my thing right now. So the Ashley thing, I don't have any further update. They never found her body to my knowledge, unfortunately. That family doesn't have closure because they don't find the baby's body. The Tamon thing, I haven't heard anything further on it. I was hoping to hear more. I was really hoping his family would exhume that body and some questions would be asked. But, again, people's money is at a certain point. There's things that happen in this life. If you don't have the finances for it, you can't do what somebody else could. So, unfortunately, his death may be what it is, and they're going to have to leave it in God's hands. But I'm going to tell you something. And this is a promise I can tell you. God is a very just God. He's just. And if people don't repent of their stuff, they're going to pay for their stuff. And even if you repent, sometimes you got to pay. Because just because you got saved and got Jesus don't mean you ain't got to pay the piper for some of the shiznit you done did in your life. Sometimes, though, God will forgive you and he will make an easier way out of your situation. But sometimes what you sow, you are going to reap in some form or fashion. And like I told Grumpy Smurf, some of what you're going through right now, broke. That's because you reaping what you sowed. You ain't did nothing for none of your kids. You up here throwing away stuff and sitting up here eating. I don't wonder how many of their children's mamas could do that. How many of your children could do that when they were growing up? So your chickens will come home to roost. I mean, everybody, even me. If you've done anything in this life that ain't right, it's going to come home. And it's going to cock-a-doodle-doo. So anyway, y'all be blessed. I got my next stop. I know it's produce. Somewhere near the Walla Onions area. Maybe I get to go up. I hope that's up near where my, what's that called? I get, sometimes olives. If it's near there's a Petro TA, whatever it is. Y'all, it's late. Petro TA, and I get olives up there. And they have it's an olive and olive grove and olive, I get olive oil, olives, stuffed olives. I get the ones with the jalapeno and the one with the jalapeno. I think they have blue cheese, and the one with the garlic cloves. Anyway, y'all be blessed. Be safe. It's a beautiful day today. Let me see if I can turn this around and show y'all. It's a beautiful day. It's Oakland, East Oakland, waiting at Restaurant Depot. So yeah, I get back to Lubbock, and then I gotta figure out my doctor that I had. I go to call them, tell them that I need a prescription refill. And she ain't no longer at the office, and the number goes to something new. It's something new. She sent me something. I really didn't look at it because I didn't realize what she was trying to tell me is I ain't going to be with this group no more. So I got to get in touch with her. I got to see if I can get my prescriptions and stuff done. So, anywho, peace, joy, happiness, two. Y'all be blessed.